Hello, everyone.
Hi,
Hi.
Michelle, Tim,
Hi, guys.
Alondra, Elizabeth.
Hi, everyone. How are you today? In case we don't know each other, I'm Talia from the Anchor team. As you come in, say hi in the chat. Tell us where you're from so everyone gets to know you as well. And I'm here with Tal and with Donnie from the team. Most of you have met Tal in your different calls, and he is our VP Operations and Finance. And Donnie manages our product. And we're all
Hi,
super
everyone.
excited to be here with you. Oh, we have something in the Q&A. Erica, oh, chat is disabled. All right, let me enable chat. That's a good one. Okay, let's see. So until I enable chat, just let me know in the, here we go. That's it. It's enabled. So as you come in, say hi. We're excited to be here for our first Anchor community meetup. Hi, Erica. Nice to meet you. Tell us where you're from. We're here for you. And we're going to be doing this monthly. And the goal of this online meetup is so that we all connect and that you feel like you can approach us with anything you need. We'll give you some updates, but we're really here to hear from you today. So before we get started, I'm just going to wait a few more minutes as you all come in. I'm not keeping up. Karen, Samira, Rebecca, Erica, thank you for being here. Hi, Michelle. If we've met before in different events, let me know as well. And I was in the last SNH together with Tal. We're going to be at QuickBooks Connect. We're going to be at Deeper Weekend coming up and at Hector's event. So if you're going to be there, let us know in the chat. And you probably met Donnie at the last QuickBooks Connect last year. So if you know Donnie, say hi as well. Okay. All right. All right. So we're going to get started. And it's important that you guys know that everyone here might be in a different stage. We invited to this meetup. This is an Anchor user meetup. So some of you might still be new to Anchor and just getting used to it. Some of you might have been here for years. So we try to keep our updates advanced, but if you feel it's too advanced or too 101 and beginners, just let us know in the feedback or email us later, and then we'll adjust it for the next meetups afterwards. And of course, feel free to ask questions anytime during the session. This session is for you, so it needs to be valuable for you. And we'll just adjust as we go. All right, so before we get started, let us present ourselves. As I said, I'm Talia. I work on the marketing team at Anchor, and I've met a few of you at the event. We have here Donnie. Donnie, do you want to introduce yourself really quickly?
I'm Danny. I'm part of the product team here at Anchor.
Great. Thank you, Donnie. We're excited to have you here. Thank you for joining us. Where are you right now? You're in our Tel Aviv offices, right?
I'm in the Tel Aviv office.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm in somewhere more exotic. I'm in Thailand on a summer vacation right now. So it's 11 p.m.
Cool.
here, but I'm still excited to be here. And we have Tal, who most of you know. Tal, say hi.
Hey guys, pleasure to see everybody, those I know and those I don't know. And although I recognize a lot of people in the chat here.
Okay, great. Me too. So many names. It's so fun to feel we're among friends and people we've already gotten the chance to meet in person. So that's super special about when we go to events. We love meeting you. And that's how this meetup actually came about, because we came back from SNH and we were like, how can we get this going? How can we meet on a more regular basis? And this was born. So we're excited to launch this initiative. And again, as you have feedback, if you want us to adjust things, if you want us to show you things during demos or right now, just let us know in the chat. We'll try to get to everything. And if we can't get to it, just email us afterwards. You have Tal's email and we'll send it to you too. So email us afterwards and Tal and the team will be happy to hop on a call with you and answer any questions. Today, we're just going to have quick updates from the Anchor side, and then it's going to be all about you, your questions, your discussions. Feel free to ask throughout, and I'll try to get to it. So Tal, I'm going to let you take it from here, okay?
So thank you very much, and pleasure to see you.
Right.
Like I said, I'm also going to share my screen. We have a nice deck. Accountants always like decks and stuff like that. So as Talia said, welcome to the first Anchor community webinar. The topics for today, Talia already started. I only wanted to show this slide because of Oli here. Oli is actually Danny's dog, and he's kind of the team mascot. He's running running around the office all day long, which is great because according to research, that's one of those things that make people really feel better and positive. So it's always good to see him, our chief barking officer. Although he's actually not barking that much. He only barks when he's not getting food.
Right.
And as Talia presented, that's all of us. And today we want to talk to you about three kind of main topics: product updates, and also kind of usability there is within Anchor that we want to make sure everybody is aware of. As you already know, Anchor is very easy to use, but there are more layers down there that are yet to be seen. And as time progresses, we'll create more webinars and sessions like this aimed to help you to uncover all the value you can see here. And I'm talking about value, as I think I spoke to most of you, not about features. Features are a nice way, but when you know the value, understand the value it can bring you, it takes the Anchor to a whole new level. And that's what we want to bring. And the three topics we're going to cover today are: one, accelerate sales cycle and support your clients on Anchor. And we'll show you how you can do that with Anchor. The second thing is to maximize your revenue and contract value with Anchor's dynamic pricing features. And the last thing is fast onboarding and immediate billing clients with signed agreements outside of Anchor. And we're going to cover that, and we're going to mix a few slides, but also we're going to look into Anchor itself, the platform itself. And as Talia said, feel free to reach out with questions. It will be difficult for me to multitask, so Talia and Danny will both answer questions on the chat and also raise questions because we're very casual. Behind me is a beautiful sunset. Okay, so the first thing, accelerate sales cycle and support your clients on Anchor. And don't mind the 1.5. And there are two things actually we help you with to accelerate your sales cycle and support your clients on Anchor. One thing is the client preview. And a lot of you are using the client preview, and we'll see it in a second, as a way to see what the client is going to see before you actually send the agreement. And there is another application for that, which we're going to talk about. And the second thing is an account and access. It's a new feature we released a couple of weeks ago that has a number of benefits to you. One main benefit is to add a payment method or to change a payment method on behalf of your clients. And the second thing is actually to do kind of a walkthrough on your client's portal with your client. I will open brackets and say that some of you might or might not know that Anchor has a client portal. That means it's a place for your client to also have access to some information you have, and that helps you to reduce the friction and give your client more control. So let's go to a kind of a demo and look into that. So that's, as you all know, that's Anchor, and now we're in the drafts area and just going from there. And here is the proposal I created. It's a very basic proposal, of course. There is only one service. As you remember, there's a name to the proposal. We can, of course, choose a client and so on. I only added one service. Now, the client preview, as you already know, can be used to kind of show you what the client is going to experience. It was important for us to kind of mention that that's also a sales enablement tool. What do I mean by that? Instead of speaking to your client on the phone or via Zoom or something like that, and then sending an agreement, imagine that you're the client and your vendor is actually showing you on the screen and telling you, hey, this is the agreement you're going to get. This is the service you're going to get. That's the price. Maybe we'll ask some questions, maybe you want some additions and so on. And basically showing them the entire process they're going to go through. So it was important for us to mention that this is not just a feature to help you, but in kind of preparing the proposal, but also a service, a feature you can use to really help your client or close the sale faster and earlier. A second thing here we said is the accountant view. What is the accountant view? So when you create a proposal, on the bottom in the agreement settings, you have an option now called request accountant access to your client's anchor account. Basically, it means you can request your client when you create a proposal to add you as their accountant on Anchor. That means an access to your client's portal on Anchor. It does not mean to authorize you as their accountant altogether. It's just for this sake. And as you can see, you have two options here. Allow my client to sign a proposal without granting accountant access. It can be either yes or no. If it's basically no, that means your client must mark this option to get him signed. If they mark it as yes, it's optional. So how it's going to look like? So you'll see there is another area here called grant accountant access. And basically it says that the accountant access will allow, that's basically your business, to view your account information, the client's information on Anchor, including invoices, agreements, and payments, as well as manage payment methods. It's a read-only access aside of the payment methods, and I'll show you in a second. Now your client will, in this case, they can choose to click it or not to click it, but as you can see, they always can continue and sign the agreement even without that. The alternative option, if they put it as a no, if you choose no, will be that your client must choose that to advance. Now, it's up to you to choose which option you want. I will add that once the agreement is signed, you will always have another option to request accountant access. So as a best practice, I would usually say, let them sign it without requesting them to mark accountant access, because eventually we want the client to sign the agreement so we can start the work and get paid for it. Okay, that's the main goal for everybody. Perfect. Now, once the agreement is signed, then you can still, as I was saying, request the payment accountant access. To do that, you go to the contacts, you go to the respective contact, and let's say, for example, I have this contact here. I can press the three dots and request accountant access. Here is a kind of a note that tells you what actually the next step is going to look like. Your client will receive an email about the request. We will notify you by email when they accept the request. Once approved by your client, you will be able to access their client portal using the Anchor logo next to the name. So as always, we automate reminders and notifications to you and your clients, of course, okay? And your client will be notified and they need to approve it. Once they approved it, you will have this logo here that you can see. And when you click the logo, you will then go to your client's Anchor. So here you can see there is a kind of a notifications on the top saying that you're now logged into Amy's Bird Sanctuary. Now, what it actually gives you in this situation, the client has number of agreements from number of vendors potentially, but you might, as their accountant, you might be able to see you'll be able to see all of them, but of course not to change anything. In this case, you will see I cannot, as the vendor, as the accountant, accept changes on behalf of the client. It's a read-only. And that to give the client still a sense of control, that they're in control and they actually need to change to make decisions. Of course, with Anchor's auto approval, it will be approved automatically anyway. And of course, there is the activity log, the invoices, and so on. The only thing, sorry, my internet is a bit slow today. Let me flash it. The only thing you'll be able to do as their accountants will actually be to go to the payment method. And here, you can actually add a new payment method on their behalf. So if, for example, you just signed in a client with Anchor and they didn't connect the payment method, there is an option for that as well. I'll show you in a second. Once the client signed, you can actually add a payment method on their behalf, of course, if you authorize for that. So ACH or credit card and so on. And we can provide more information later. This is, of course, the button to go back to my business. So that's that. Now, let's continue to the next topic. Maximize your revenue and contract value with Anchor's dynamic pricing features. So very bombastic kind of language, but basically when we embarked on that process of Anchor, we had in mind, being practice owners ourselves, how we can really add value to firms like yourself. And to do so, there is a need of multiple features that together can really help you to push your contract value up and help you to monetize as much as possible. As you know, clients might purchase services from you or others and might not purchase some services because they think they don't need them until they need them. So we created all these set of features together. So packages, all of you probably know we already have. With the support of Hector Garcia and Ron Baker, we created optional services or add-ons. It's a new feature we just released a few weeks ago. Discounts, and I wrote you good or bad because I'm going to talk about it. And we have, of course, the amendable agreements with auto approval. I'm going to talk about each one of them for a second. When you think about the mix of packages, so giving your client an option between 3 packages, that's great. But you kind of predetermine the amount of money they're going to pay, and they also do that. So in a way, you limit the revenue you can achieve from your clients. With the additional services, the optional services, which you can have as many as you want, and we'll see example in a second, you can now give an option to your clients to upsell themselves, and we can use tools to make them, to even push them for that. Why is that good? Because maybe your clients are on the bench. Maybe they want to buy additional services, but they don't really sure about it, don't think about it, and they need some, some motivation. All of you experienced that before. And that's a way to let them sell themselves in a way. I know that here discounts, good or bad. I spoke to some people told me my firm do not give discounts. And asked them why. They say, I don't want people to see that I give discounts. It's reducing the amount of money I can make. And I told them, you know what? You can actually look at discounts as a good tool, as a positive tool, and that in 2 ways. One, when you mix discounts with optional services or even with packages, you can now show your clients that if they buy the service now, if they buy the add-on now, they will get a discount. Let's say the face value of the service is $150. You can present it as $120. And they will know that if they buy it today, they will get it for $120. If they buy it later, it will be $150. So they're kind of motivated to buy the service now. Now, they don't really know what is the face value of the service. That's something you can say. You know best. So maybe the $150 is actually your discounted value. Maybe your real price is $150 is like your high price in a way. So maybe you regularly will build a service for $140. So in a way, you kind of help yourself to push the pricing up as well. The second thing where discounts make sense is in renewals, end of the year. A client bought your services and they added a service with a discount. Let's say there was a 15% discount. The year ended, and now when you're going to have a discussion with your clients about the prices for the new year, and put aside, of course, elements like scope creep and things like that. Let's say the scope was exactly in par to the price they paid. You can tell them, listen, you received a discounted price for the first year. Now the real price is actually 15% above it. So we need to adjust it. So instead of telling them just because I raised the price by 5% of 10%, there is actually a legitimate reason for you to request the higher price. And then maybe you will negotiate in between. But that means there is a revenue uplift on the second year, which is kind of guaranteed. Okay, it's kind of psychology of pricing. And when you add the amendable agreements to that, that makes it completely simple now to do all those changes, to change the prices later, to change the scope later, all of that automatically. Because as you remember, once you do a change on Anchor, the client will have X amount of days, to approve or reject. Otherwise, it's automatically accepted. So all of these two together give you a full flexibility to really create dynamic pricing. Any questions so far? Feel free to ask on the chat. So a short example how you can access the optional services, and then I'm going to see it also on Anchor as well. So when you create a proposal, you will notice there is this kind of purple option box here, the show advanced settings. And it depends on the type of service, but basically you will have usually pause automatic billing if it's recurring, prorate the first payment. We can talk about it one-on-one if you have any questions. You can mark the service as optional. And as you all probably already saw, there is an option to bill a limited number of times. So maybe you want to bill them over 3 months. Now, when you mark the service as optional, you have 2 options, not included or included. If it's included, that will be visible and active. It's kind of you suggesting the optional to your client, so it's kind of lights on. If it's not included, it will kind of be lights off. So it will be there, but turned off, and you'll see in a second. And you can do a lot of really interesting games with that. So for example, let me tell you about limited number of times. Today I spoke to a new client of Anchor, and he said, I have this client and I need to charge him some money. The client, he's a new vendor, he's wanted to onboard a new client, and he said, this person owes me $1,200. And of course, I gave him the option to add 1 service, 1 installment, to bill the client for $1,200 when the client signs the agreement. But then we actually created another package. The second package was for 3 payments over 3 months, installments, because he suspected the client might want packages. And instead of billing him for $1,200, so he billed him for $425 per payment over 3 months. Why 25? Because he wanted to kind of also get the value of the money, because he said, well, if I'm not getting the money now, I'm losing interest I can make on my money. So I want to take another value here. So a lot of cool payments, and then the client, a lot of cool options, and the client now will have 2 packages to choose from. So let's look how this one's going to look on Anchor.
Tal, just before you go into the demo, I love how you touched upon the psychology of pricing. And I think if we look around us, SaaS products are doing this the whole time with the packages, Disney and Disney Plus and Amazon Prime. So everyone is trying to upsell us and our clients into different packages. And there's a lot of psychology behind pricing. And as Tal said, the packages are there to help you also increase your revenue. We're actually doing a webinar about this Wednesday with Hector about how he implemented it. So feel free to join. But if you'd like us to do a webinar for our members about the psychology of pricing with Tal, with Rome, our CEO, and kind of bringing examples from the SaaS world, just let us know in the chat, and we'll look into doing that for you, because you can really increase revenue. And we have a lot of users using the packages to upsell and increase. And the goal is for you to grow and to maximize your revenue. So yeah, it's about the psychology of pricing. And I love that.
Now, we already in the CS customer success sales organizations, we already started to kind of think how we can support you for 2024. And as Talia mentioned, we already kind of cooking up for you kind of prep sessions, less workshop, so to help you prepare for 2024 with your pricing. So stay tuned for that as well. So how it's going to look like. So here is a proposal. This is a more advanced proposal. This is a proposal for 2024, okay, for a new client that I'm joining. Now you'll see I created 3 packages here. We have a starter, advanced, and all-inclusive. And every package has different type of services, and I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough on that. But what you can see on the bottom, for example, I have here like QBO, Simple Start subscription. I put as an optional and included. And for example, I have a QBO advisory service here, which I take $150 monthly over 3 months. Okay, bill 3 months. And this is also included. And I have these 3 packages here. And I want to show you how we play with that and how we can really push the revenue from the clients. So I'm going to show you the client preview, of course, because that's the simulation, but maybe you are my clients and I want to kind of walk through with you on the services you're going to get. So as you all know, of course, this is messaging a container, and then there is the packages. And when I'm a client, I can see the 3 optional packages, and then I see the starter, advanced, and all-inclusive. And here I'll see there is a cleanup service, only cleanup, and a lot of optionals. So I might want to look into that. And while I see here, there is a cleanup for $1,000, monthly payroll, financial advisory. So very basic. I didn't even include a basic bookkeeping service. Why? Just because. And as you can see, I turn on the options on this one. In a way, I kind of recommended my client to buy those services from me again. For example, here's a subscription. Don't mind the price. I know it's kind of changing all the time. Now there is an advanced package. And here it's even more interesting. Here the client can see there is the cleanup as well. And already you can see there is a discount here. And then there is some basic monthly bookkeeping service. Now, with this package, now all of a sudden there are discounts. Discounts become more appealing. Now the client can see there is a QuickBooks cleanup, and if they buy it, they're going to get a 10% discount on a cleanup and on a monthly bookkeeping service. Now, before you jump and say, well, don't give them a discount, I don't discount my services, think about it this way. It can be 10% from various amounts. At the end of the day, they pay $675 now. But end of the year, we can tell them the price go up to $750. So your current price might be $675, right? No one knows what you're starting from. So that's a pricing strategy. And everybody, you experience that as consumers every day, everywhere. Here, on the additional services to choose from, so here, for example, I didn't turn on those options just because I don't even know why. The client can choose them. And it's also a financial advisory service because maybe he once told me thinking about that. So I added a financial advisor and I put some discount on that. Why? Because I can tell him, listen, here is the price. It's $127.50. But if you don't buy it now, later it's going to be $150. So that's kind of a discounted price if you buy it now. The third option, the more inclusive ones, and there are various ways on how to which package you want to push people to, depends. It's not always the middle one, by the way. In this case, it's a more full suite of services. Now it might be bookkeeping and controller, bookkeeping, controller, and CFO services. You can play around the way you want, and you know your business the best. Of course, we can help you if you have any questions. And as I was saying, we're going to do a more structured session on that. But here, for example, I gave them another discount on the cleanup and on the monthly bookkeeping. But you see, the monthly booking even is higher here. So here, the monthly booking, for example, is $675 after discount. Here it's $960. Because what you didn't see is here, for example, the service was including only number of items, but not all of them. But if you go to this service here, the full monthly, it actually includes everything. You will see that a lot when you go to search for software online. The software online, in many cases, they show you a number of packages or options, and you can see like tick boxes where, what included, what's not included. So it actually, they try to push you to more expensive packages. So now if your client chooses that, all of a sudden here, for example, they get 100% discount on those two because you get more value on this package, for example. It's an example, right? Think about it this way. The $150 cost that there is here for this service is absorbed because it's $960 over 12 months. So accumulated, you already increased your revenue. And of course, you will know best where your pricing point sits. And of course, here we have the additional discounts, and of course, the client can choose them. Once the client shows, they're going to have a summary, what is billed today, what is monthly, and what is variable, if there is variable. Any questions about that?
I do think in one of the conversations we were having with Ron Baker in one of the webinars, he said that you know your clients best. So and you can customize each package differently for clients, right? Have your base and then add on different things that you know your clients need or don't need, right? But if you offer them additional services for an extra, I don't know, $100 a month or $100 a year even, and you know them and you know that they probably won't need this service. So that's something that helps you sweeten the deal. It shows that you're there to give them value and that you're there to help them throughout their business. But you also know as their accountant that they're probably not going to be consuming much of your time with that business and with those tasks. So you can take on more clients in the meantime. So I think with the packages, it's about the way of letting your clients know that you're there for them, that you want to help them with the different parts of their business, but also making it, valuable for them and for you, and show them that you're sweetening the deal and that you want their best interests. So as you know them, see what you can add in, to make it look like you're giving them extra bonuses. Clients love bonuses. We all love bonuses.
Perfect. Answer to Donna, then there's an answer question from Peter I saw. So Donna,
Yep.
Donna asked if we can actually basically play around with the location of those services. So Donna, not yet. We are planning to invest a bit more on the UX. So that will be and also copy packages. These are things we're adding. We try to we know there are things we can add to have more fun functionality. We try to push more on features that we think people need. For example, more complex services that you can actually even choose the date for service and stuff like that. But this is completely in our roadmap, Donna. And Peter also asked about the payment terms. So Peter, ACH still 7 business days. If there are holidays, it takes a bit longer. We are working, and internally we are committed for that. It takes a bit longer than we thought because it's a big move, but we are going to move to faster ACH. That's something in our roadmap, and we'll update you about it. It's a big infrastructure move, but we are on it. So Jonah Papas asked our cross-off. So our cross-off items. So when you create a service, right? You have the ability to track through. So basically, just that. You're welcome. Okay, now, one last thing before we wrap up on this side. So we recently launched a new service that allows you to quickly onboard clients that either are not on Anchor because, let's say, you just join Anchor, or maybe you have clients that you send one time, you build them in a different system in the past or something like that. And it's very straightforward. What we basically do, and we will work with you, so our customer success team, so that's part of my team, will work with you on that. We'll create the agreements on Anchor based on your existing agreement with your client, and the client will not have to intervene with that. What do I mean? So instead of creating a proposal on Anchor, send it to your client to sign it to connect the payment method. We will work with you to create the proposal on Anchor, to create a draft on Anchor. Then we're going to authorize that internally because you already have a signed agreement. And then either you or your client can add a payment method. Now, the first experience your client is going to have from Anchor will be when they receive the first invoice. But regardless, we will equip you with a template that you can actually send your client in advance, letting them know you moved to Anchor. So they will know from you, should expect receiving an invoice from Anchor. And then when they receive it, it will be a more easier experience for them, just because people are always afraid of fraud and things like that. And all of that, this service happens with Anchor's white glove service, so that your customer success or the sales team. So reach out to us if there are any clients you wanna add which are not yet on Anchor. Those of you still, from some reason, have like built 1 or 2 clients on QuickBooks from the past. Don't remember that the prices of QuickBooks are going up next month. So we developed this also in the mind of those situations. Elia, go back to you.
Okay, so so that was the product part and the product updates part from our side, and we're here now to take your questions and hear your suggestions and hear your feedback. In the meantime, I know that there was a big mix-up with our first session, which unfortunately I had to miss because of a family emergency. So we did this date instead. Our next online meetup is on October 2nd. So if you have an invite for September 4th, know that that is not happening. You should have it in your calendar if you signed up for the series. And please let us know in the chat or via email what you want us to review next time. So if there's a topic you want us to discuss, so we just spoke about the psychology of pricing today, and we can see if we can touch about that a little next week. Or if there's anything specific you want to bring up, just email us. It's talia@sayanchor.com or tal@sayanchor.com or donnie@sayanchor.com. It's at the last slide. Email us, tell us your suggestions. And we're just going to get better with these sessions. This is our first one, so we're just warming up, but it's supposed to be valuable for you and for all the members here. We're here to help you grow the business. All right, so let's see what
one more
questions
question.
we have.
There is a question from Erica. Erica
Yeah,
asked, are there return fees if they have insufficient funds? So Erica, if there's insufficient funds, your client will pay that, and that's their fees to pay usually. That's it basically. They should make sure. One of the features we have on Anchor, as you know, and we have the client portal. The client portal, as you saw before, and let me go back there for a second because I want to show you that a bit more. The client portal gives the client also the control to use Anchor. So for example, on the client portal, your client can see, of course, the activity log as you saw before. They can see all the invoices in one place and the payment methods. So your client might have a bank account connected, but maybe they want also to have a credit card. And your client can actually choose to switch between credit cards and ACH if, for example, they have a more challenging month and now they want to use the credit card to get some credits. It's also an option for them to do. And of course, if they want to use the credit card, then still, as you define, you will not pay the fees for that, as you remember. So that's another one of those elements.
Yeah, and Ellen has brought up an important topic of quicker ACH, and that's something we're definitely working on. It's on our roadmap, and I know that's come up a couple of times tonight. Yeah. So yeah, we're on that.
And important to say, I want to explain something about the ACH, guys. ACH, the way Anchor does that, it's called pool ACH, pool transaction. That means because we take the money from your client's account. What's important to understand is that if you bill your client on the first, within 10 days, today, 7 business days, money will land in your account. First month is a bit more challenging, but then month over month, it will always land on the 10th, unless there's like a bank holiday or something in between. The reason it takes so much time is because according to the ACH regulation, the money has to sit for 5 days in a trustee account in case your client disputes. That prevents situations like FAF and so on. Okay, so that's the 5 business days, 5 days actually it sits there, and then it takes 2 more days to move the money from there. We're now doing we're kind of implementing now a new solution to make it hopefully at least half the time, so move to around 3 to 4 days. It's not an easy move. No one in the market is doing it. No one. Even if you see with other players, it takes them 7 business days. But because we always strive to be technologically superior and to bring the best technology, we'll make it happen. It's just a matter of time, and hopefully it will be soon.
Yeah. So
far?
So we don't have any other questions, I think. Guys, do you have any suggestions before we wrap up, or anything else you'd like Tal to show you while you have him here? He's a busy guy. He's always on calls. You have him now to give you demos. So any question you have, anything you want to see on the product, let him know. And we'll just stick around for another couple of minutes because everyone's time is super valuable. So if you need anything, please let us know. Tal, do you have a slide with our emails on so anyone can reach out to us that you can share?
So basically,
I'll add it to the chat.
Basically, wait, Talia, wait. Basically, every client of Anchor has a dedicated customer success manager. So if you're already a member of Anchor, use your dedicated success manager and reach out to them with questions. Okay, you have to know if you know who your dedicated customer success manager is. And if you have any questions for me specifically, just type Tal in the beginning of @sayanchor.com. Most of you probably should have my email address. And then we're here for you. If you have any considerations, think about, want to discuss to us about how you can price things better, how you can maximize the usage of Anchor, we are here to talk to you about it.
Yeah. And I think for us, it's going to be a very exciting couple of months coming up. So we have a busy couple of months. Pay attention to your emails. We're going to be inviting you to different webinars. Next month, we're launching a new webinar series called Anchor Your Growth with different bookkeepers and accountants using Anchor who will share their numbers, how they implemented Anchor in their firm, and what revenue growth they've achieved since using Anchor. So every week we will interview different users. If you want to be part of the sessions, please email me, and then I'll be happy to interview you. And as I said, the next couple of months are going to be, we're coming out to meet you at different events. So we're going to be at Deeper. We're going to be at Hector's Creative Business Models for Accountants events in October in Miami. We're going to be at QB Connect in November. If there are any other events you're going to that you think we should be there, and that you want us to connect with you there, please let us know. And if you're part of communities that you feel we should collaborate with or be part of, just let us know. We want to meet you everywhere we can, and we want to help you, and we want to help the industry have a more stable financial infrastructure so you can grow your firm. So we're here for you for anything you need.
And Danny, I see you're typing, but maybe answer the question to everybody.
Yes, so I wanted to answer Aaron. Yeah, I forgot I can speak. Aaron, we are working on having more than one signature on an agreement, and we'll keep you guys updated. We're on it.
And the plan is to have both CC, so be able to share an agreement with other parties, as a CC, and also to have multiple signatures, of course. It's also coming, we know. Just to explain, Danny and her team probably have about 400 features in the pipeline. As you all know, we develop Anchor based on your requests. We just try to prioritize them because, as you can imagine, there are a lot of requests. We try to make it as good as possible, but things are moving very fast, as you can see. So we got you covered.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting how Anchor came about, because it came out of our own needs, right? So Tal's an accountant, Rome, our CEO and founder, is an accountant. Omri was a business owner. That's how Anchor came about. And we're really big believers of working with our users to bring more features to make your firm management revenue grow and just make everything easier for you so you don't need to deal with it. So if you want to have a brainstorming session with us or give us product feedback on one-on-one, just let us know. Anything you need, email Tal and your customer success manager, right, Tal? But just email us for anything. We're really here for you. All right, I'm gonna switch off. So 1 second, Alondra said she would love to see a more organized screen for services. Tal, do we have anything? Donnie, do we have anything planned for that?
What do you mean by that? Maybe you can let Alondra speak and say what she means, because I'm not sure I understand. Also because I haven't seen Alondra since SNH, so maybe she can.
Alondra, I am switching your microphone on. Are you ready? Let's do it. Alondra, you need to unmute.
Unmute. Okay. Hey there.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, I miss you guys so much. I think about you almost every day. And not for business either. So
thank you.
You guys are incredible. And I call you all friends. So so for me, I'm dealing with tax years back down to like 2018, 2017, 2018, depending on where the statute is. There's going to be, I would love to either organize by the types of services, because I could be doing preparation, I could be doing resolution work, payroll, bookkeeping. I would love, I'm looking at my Anchor screen right now, and I've got 15 services at the moment. It would be lovely not to have to scroll through all of them. And if I'm also doing, 22, 23, 21, it just grows exponentially. So it would be lovely to have, say, multiple boxes, like 4 boxes where I could have a list of preparation, a list of bookkeeping, you know what I mean? Like kind of like how this screen that we're looking at right now, looking at your beautiful faces, those boxes would have the lists of the things that we do, so that I could go in and say, okay, I need this from this from that. That's what I mean.
And I see Erica is strongly agreeing too.
Yeah,
right.
Danny, I think you have this in the pipeline, no?
Yes, we know this request, and I'm happy to hear from you guys again, because it absolutely helps to prioritize, and we'll get to it. I promise. We're working on it too.
Thank you. Okay, you can mute me now.
And if you think about it in
No, I would
multiple ways,
never.
and
Oh,
we
it's
think
so
about-
hard to mute me.
and we think about
I
it
would
in
never
we think about it in multiple ways in general, how to manage situations like this. So you can also think about clients, about services, about agreements. We're adding more and more elements that can help you both to filter, to group, things like that. That's across the board, right? You mentioned services, but what about clients? Maybe some clients are getting, your tax services, but they're, for another firm, maybe they have bookkeeping clients and they have tax clients and they have cash clients. So we're adding a lot of those elements here to give you more ease of use for when you have multiples, everything's. So that's completely in the pipeline.
Okay,
Yep.
excellent.
And we have Lillian asking us about the PO box address.
Yes.
Donnie,
So
is
Lillian,
that coming up?
Yeah, so Lillian, that's something that we heard a couple of times actually in the past month. We already have a kind of a solution for that. Probably it's going to be, city at state. The reason to keep it usually is that the client will know that no, it's from you basically. So that's coming up. It requires some change in the system, but it is something we're working on and it will come up. You need to understand when I'm saying working on, that means Dani and her team need to go ahead and sit and build the screen and how it's going to look like and how it will influence the entire product, right? Because when we change something in the proposal, it affects the agreement and so on and so on. And then basically, and then we set it to give it to the engineers, and the engineers need to sit and do the programming that they like to do.
All right, everyone has their own problems, Tal.
So
Don't share your problems.
This is how feature born.
Just to explain how feature born into the world, but we are on it.
Yeah, and I know we're not committing to timelines today, guys, but if we say it's in the pipeline, it's something we're actively talking about, working on. You can reach out privately. Tal and Donnie will try and give you a better estimation for the pipeline. But the more we get the requests about the same features, the higher it goes in priorities. And we're definitely on the questions that came up today. Those are definitely things we're working on. Yeah. So I know it's annoying. We say it's in the pipeline because that's what every company says, but we really mean that, and we're on it totally.
One last thing.
I want to add on top of what Talia said, that we every month we add new features. So also, if you feel like you need a rundown of what's new, feel free to reach out to customer success, and we'll gladly do that for you.
And one last thing I want to finish with, of course, as you probably already know, because I know some of you already using it, we have Anchor's referral plan here on the top. Feel free to refer friends, colleagues, clients as well. One of the models we have is that service providers refer their clients to use Anchor because it actually can save you time with their account receivables, and by doing that, improve your profitability and your availability to accept new clients. So feel free to refer people, and that's it.
Just give them your link. Yeah, just give them your link because you guys are referring people to us the whole time, and we want you to maximize on the credit in your Anchor account. So just make sure to add it from that button, and then you can be credited for that as well because you're doing it anyway. All right. Anything else we want to cover today? All right, so we're going to wrap up, guys. Again, I'm reminding you this is our first online meetup, so thank you for joining us. Any feedback or anything you want us to cover in the next sessions, please let us know. We'll meet again at the beginning of October, on the first Monday of October. And if you need anything else, please reach out to our your customer success manager, or to Tal. Tal and Danny, thank you for being with us today. And thank you, everyone. Lillian, this is recorded and we will send it out to everyone who registered. That's okay, right, Tal and Danny? You're okay with that?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Okay, great. So we'll send this out and we'll speak soon. We'll see you in the Anchor community in our Facebook group. If you're not there yet, just join. We'll speak soon. Bye, guys. Thank you.